Hello, my friends. Good to see you again. This is 7 English Bible School. Thanks for joining us. And once again, your presence means a lot to me. God bless you and keep you.
You knew it was worse than the flu. You knew it was airborne. You knew the percentages would be bad. All those rallies, the people you say you love, encouraging them to come to a place in concentration, discouraging masks, not providing testing, when you knew they'd be exposed to something potentially deadly? These people love you. They love what you represent. Some of them support you despite you. That's how forgiving they are, and this is how you rewarded them. I'm sorry to say this, but tonight I have to tell you the worst thing I ever have about coronavirus. It is a really ugly truth. Our president knew that COVID-19 was going to be much worse than he was telling you. He lied. He pressured others to lie, essentially, to underplay, and worst of all, to underprepare. As a result, more of us got sick, more of us died than needed to happen. He let us get sick and die because he thought it was better for him. This isn't hearsay. I wish. It's not my opinion. I wish it were. It's not an unnamed source. It's Trump.
It goes through air, Bob. That's always tougher than the touch. You know, the touch, you don't have to touch things, right? But the air, you just breathe the air. That's how it's passed. And so that's a very tricky one. That's a very delicate one. It's also more deadly than your strenuous flu.
He knew it was going to get worse. He knew it was worse than a flu. He knew the numbers, and he knew he was being recorded. He was talking to Bob Woodward for a new book that's coming out. That's where the tape comes from. Now, why would he do that? My suggestion, before I even get into the meat of this thing, before people start telling me I'm talking too long, although this is the most important thing I've ever had to tell you, is that he knows that his supporters won't give a damn. And I want you to hear that. He was okay telling a reporter on tape that he was going to lie to you. At the same time he said that to Bob Woodward, this is what he was saying to us.
President, you talked about the flu in comparison to the coronavirus. Flu has a fatality ratio of about 0.1%.
Correct.
This has a fatality ratio somewhere between 2 and 3%. Given that, and the fact
we don't know
based
exactly
on the
what it
numbers
is.
so far,
And the flu is higher than that. We're ready for it. It is what it is. We're ready for it.
It is what it is means can't do anything about this. Expression is used a lot where he and I grew up. This was the exact opposite. Now listen, at the end of the day, we're all brothers and sisters. I know everybody's upset about stuff, but at the end of the day, none of it matters when you start looking at the big problems we have in life. What do we start with? If you don't have your health, you have nothing. Trump, not Trump, Biden, whoever. Your family's got sick. You know people who died. Many of you, especially his followers, many of you took it easy because of his false assurances. What he just said to Sanjay, he knew was a lie. How can this be forgiven? And remember, there is no accident. This is on purpose. How do we know? Because he knows it's out there. I'll play you what his defense is in a second. And he knows it's out there, so he's starting to attack. He wants to tweet about bad people and bad acts and liars, even though he can't spell the damn word. Well, I say to our president, who right now is preparing to go on with his buddies, the Fox frauds, hide, not have to respond to the tape, Just talk about Joe Biden being worse. Talk about how the media is bad. They're pushing another virus on you there because they don't want you to see this sound the way you are here. He's going to go there. He's going to lie his ass off. And they're going to lap it up. And then anybody who tells you differently, they'll attack because they don't want there to be any truth. They want you angry, not informed. So I say this is easy. Mr. President, I'm the dope. You're the genius. Don't talk about me. Come on my show and talk to me. Show everyone how right you are. That this was the right thing for you to say at the right time. Now, I don't expect that. I expect others will defend him. And I expect that there will be lots of attacks of those of us who keep asking these questions. And I will never stop because this is a time to fight power, not to cower. Mr. President, you stand accused of lying, denying, and thereby endangering too many of us for too long, causing illness and death. Here's his excuse.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't want to create a panic.
You didn't want to create panic, so instead you ensured it and a pandemic. Tell us why it was okay. Our kids in so many places not back in school because you didn't push for the prep on testing and resources that you could have. The economy suffering in a way it didn't have to. You made it all more likely to happen by your intentional lying about the reality because people weren't preparing, and you kept your agencies from doing the same. And you knew it was worse than the flu. You knew it was airborne. You knew the percentages would be bad. All those rallies, the people you say you love, encouraging them to come to a place in concentration, discouraging masks, not providing testing, when you knew they'd be exposed to something potentially deadly? These people love you. They love what you represent. Some of them support you despite you. That's how forgiving they are, and this is how you rewarded them. While so many of us were begging them to wear masks, begging them to social distance, not wanting them to go through what we did, and you were telling them the opposite and not to listen to us, and you knew you were full of it. The medical implications. For you, it was all political implications. And by the way, this is why it's the worst thing I've had to tell you. It ain't just him. You think he's the only one who was in those briefings? You think he's the only one who knew he was lying and that he was going to hide the reality from you? You don't think there are all these people in the White House and in Congress who say, you know, I love my country? We will find out who knew. They should be exposed and they should be shamed. Again, we know the charges. The tape is him. He did it willingly. And here is how he defends what's on that tape as he found out about his neglect today.
I'm not going to drive this country or the world into a frenzy. We want to show confidence. We want to show strength. We don't want to instill panic. We don't want to jump up and down and start shouting that we have a problem that is a tremendous problem, scare everybody. We have to have leadership. We have to show leadership. And the last thing you want to do is create a panic in the country.
You can't buy that. We all tell people things that we're a certain way when we don't want to worry them too much, or kids, or spouses, or friends, right? This is not some unique dynamic to being president. So you tell them don't wear a mask? You tell them keep everything open, don't shut anything down? When you know it's airborne and you know it's going to be worse? That's how you don't create panic?